I still have a few more things to do, but I figured that you guys, well, at least one of you are here, so uh, hang on a second while I get the last thing ready. Are you pogging Sky? Because I certainly am. I mean, given that you don't remember what happened yesterday, um, I um, don't want. I want to stop receiving daily questions. Thank you. I am not surprised that you are feeling pretty pog today, if you are. Um, if you do not remember what happened yesterday, I suppose it's no concern of mine whether you do or not. There we go. Emoji. Uh, oh, let's see. That'll work. Alrighty. Now we are almost fully ready. And there we go. How are you, by the way? Did you get some sleep? Ah, there we are. Perfect. My pie, not your pie. My pie. There we are. All ready. I don't know how many people are here, and I don't care. What I am going to do right now, sit back, relax, and eat some pie, and maybe talk about a few things, if you are so inclined. I will also be doing a few chores, so if you don't mind, you will be receiving ASMR of me doing that. But for right now, it's eating only. Happy Pie Day, by the way. I sure do hope you still remember your measurement circles. Oh, and happy White Day for those who celebrate. I'm sure that some of you will be getting chocolate, and I do hope that it is from people. Oh, I didn't change it. Badge. Let me change it right now. You'll have to remember that I'm a very, very old bear. And I never remember to do these
Oh,
things.
thank you so
Hello,
much.
Pixel
Thank
and
you so
Dragon.
much. I'm glad that you like.
Hmm. Let me go ahead into my stream. Alright. And just chatting. Alright. Stream info updated successfully. Yes, yes, yes. I'm quite old. I do not know how any of this technology works. You're going to have to forgive me for that. How are you, Pixel? You doing well? I have my pie with me. And I'm assuming that you're in the process of making your own, so good luck with that. Yeah. Oh, yes, I do hope everybody is well rested, has had some food, or is in the process of maybe eating with me. I don't check messages ever. I am the type of person to live life, to sleep, to eat whenever the fuck I please. So, if I do check messages, it is at my leisure. Yeah. I have most of my. And this is 100% true. This is not for a bit. I have most of my alerts to be set off. So I don't get alerts from literally anything. And that's because I don't pay attention to them in the first place. My devices are very good at alerting me to one thing, and that is when my streams start and when my job starts. If I pay attention to literally anything else, I'll get too distracted to live life. What kind of problem was it, by the way? And Sky, I've heard tell that you don't remember what happened yesterday. Not at all. Sky did an oopsie. It's been fixed since then. How deeply should I disregard this oopsie, or do I need to do some investigating of my own? Because I will. Oh. Pixel. Would you like to do some commentary on this? Because obviously. Alright. I can do that. But I will remember this. I do remember most of what I saw yesterday. But I was not there for a very significant time yesterday. And you know what? Honestly, I don't feel bad about it. I just feel a little confused and curious. It got worse after I. And Sky doesn't remember any of this, right? Hmm. Hmm. Sky. What am I going to do with you, my son? Let me turn on some mood music so it doesn't sound like I am sitting in the dark in the middle of the night waiting for you to come home and incriminate yourself. That sounds a bit intimidating, wouldn't you agree? Let's mute that before the ad plays. Spankings, huh? I mean, we're both adults. I don't think Sky needs a spanking. Unless, of course, as an adult, they ask. In which case, I'm really not the spanking type. Oh, that's a bit loud, isn't it? Alright, there we go. Nice and chill. I I'm really not the spanking type. Hmm. Maybe it's because I just dislike harming people. But I generally don't like the idea of being the source of harm for anyone else, and I think most people are the same way. That being said, I could get used to it, but only if I am asked and we are both on the same page. This is why I'm not. This is why I don't think I make a particularly good authority figure. I can't punish people even if I wanted to. My bark is worse than my bite, as they say. Mm. This is a pretty good pie. I'm not gonna lie. I got this pie kind of on a whim. And because they did not have the pie I desired. But you know, it's good to change things up a little bit. I like apple pie. And I suppose that there's nothing wrong with it. I just never get it. I really ought to do something about that. I sure do. Mm. Mm. You can't see the rest of the outfit, but the skin suit is actually more of a skin jumpsuit. So it goes all the a bit like let's see, like a diver. It goes all the way from my neck down to my ankles. I was planning on getting a pumpkin pie, because that's usually my vibe, but I guess I don't like sour things much. Not that I won't eat something sour. I like pickles and all that, but if you ask me if I wanted something tart or sour, I would not choose it in something sweet as well. I don't know why. Maybe my tongue is very sensitive. Yeah. Hmm. Uh, do I open Discord now? Now that's the question of the day, isn't it? I know that I have been sort of picked out as what would you people call it? The Dommy Mommy? I'm not sure if I like that, to be honest. I don't find myself particularly dominant. I just know what I like. I know what I want. And at this point in my life, I feel like there is no reason to sugarcoat it. Whenever I pause to think about what I am saying, I am thinking about the exact meaning I want to convey, and not how to sugarcoat it, usually. It's gotten me in trouble more than once. Oh no, my avatar is broken. Let's see. What exactly has happened here? Is it alright? It seems fine on my end. Is everything alright? Oh, okay. Oh, I think I know what happened. The pie is in meat space to my right. So whenever I lean over to take a bite, I sort of disappear from my iPad's purview. Let me move things a little bit. There we go. Although if it does freeze, once again, go ahead and let me know. Thank you very much for telling me. I would not have noticed, because the way I have OBS set up, it's all the way over to the right, and you guys are all the way over to the left, and the lo-fi, no copyright, music mix 2022, eighth notes, aesthetic music and lo-fi beats to relax, eighth notes, lo-fi music mix 2022 number 28 is currently playing. They got some wild names on YouTube. Or the algorithm and all. Something about algorithms, um, optimization. I wouldn't know much about these things. I am, once again, just a bear, and I will understand the things I choose to understand. Yeah, it's just. Let's see if I can read that. Low food, 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 lo-fi. Yeah. You know, when I designed this, I only ever intended for people to actually be able to see um, the hearts in my eyes whenever I'm very excited. And I suppose that works, although I'm not particularly excited right now, I'm just very relaxed. But I think it's given me a more inviting character, and in hindsight, I think I need it. 8 out of 10. Well, I'm very honored to get a solid B, but, what did you ding me for? Come on. I like to know how to improve. Give me that criticism. That was some really good pie. Ah, the pronunciation. Got it, got it, got it. I'm at no level Welsh, and that's about the closest, I think, to anyone on this God's green earth that could read that, so, I gave it a shot. Too many breaths. Let's see if I can do it in one then. Lo-fi, hifud, shifid, biush, defid lo-fi. You know, that wasn't so bad. Although I don't make a habit of reading key smashes out loud. I don't think that's a particular skill that has any use in real life. Although, you know, if you market anything, you could probably sell it. That being said, my lung. Ooh. My character design. I suppose you can go ahead and criticize it. No guarantees I'll listen though. That's just how I look. Yeah. So the wetsuit is like it is a bodysuit. It goes all the way from my neck all the way down to my ankles. And I do need to sort of strip myself into it, as it were. And then I have a pair of shorts and my sweater, and then the boots. That's really it. I can't pay attention to a lot of ornamentation, so. Got it, got it. The phrase at the drawing board means that you would need to be in the inception of the idea. Am I wrong? I was assuming that that's what you meant because when one says to go back to the drawing board, one means that they need to go back to the first drafts of whatever they were up to. So what I was assuming you said was, oh, I would have needed to be there at the inception of this design in order to judge it properly, which I won't judge you for that. I simply accept things as they are. Hmm. Maybe I feel as though that's probably one of my biggest problems. Oh. I'm just a bear. I am simply a bear. There are a few things about my design that are quite finished at a conceptual level, but I haven't finished the turnaround yet. And that may take a little bit of time, since I am a working bear. And I do have other things to do. Yes, I am a bear who eats pie. I do like me some pie. What a wonderful day. A day to celebrate pie. Pie. And the measurements of a circle. You know, I had a high school teacher who was one of those people who competitively drew perfect circles. If you I know exactly what I said. You can interpret it however you like. Yeah, I had one of those high school teachers in school who competitively drew circles, if you know what that is. So they would take a piece of chalk and go in front of the chalkboard and just draw a circle incredibly fast with their whole arm. And there were competitions about whether you could do it completely perfectly. Yeah, I always thought that was very impressive. And a skill unlike reading key smashes, in which I think it would become very handy at some point, at some level. Going back to the design, I guess. What were my intentions? Really, I just wanted to have a design that was simple and comfortable. Oh dear, here we go. Gulu glu gul gu glock glock glock. That one's pretty simple actually. Plenty of vowels to work with. It's when you put in too many consonants that I have to go back and pretend I'm Welsh. Da. Ah. Sprichst Deutsch? Ah. Oh, da. I got those mixed up. Oh, whoa. Bear also does go nom. I'm glad that your brain cells are finally engaged. Yesterday, there weren't too many. Da, Russian. Ja, ist Deutsch. I actually don't know much German. Ekel tries to teach me every once in a while, but she is quite fluent, and I personally am not. So, while I do try my best, she will always be one step ahead of me in German, as I am always one step ahead of her in Japanese and Korean, so it's a pretty equal friendship, all things considered. Yicked. 4-hour nap? Sky, my goodness. Hmm. I think that that's kind of the standard, and I honestly don't have anything against people who only know a little bit in a lot of languages. A lot of the time, when people are stuck in one place, that's all you really need. And any consideration of other things outside of what you need seems a bit excessive to the people around you. So there's a lot of societal pressure to never learn more than what you need to know, which I think is a terrible shame. I've always been a very curious bear, but without anyone to really encourage me to learn, I had to come up with all the encouragement myself. Which, isn't very hard. I think people are very interesting, so, I always ask questions and I sometimes find people who answer them. Oh. Goodbye. I'm now sudden. Ooh. I'm now suddenly thinking about what pie would be in other languages. I would assume there are just pie, but I'm also thinking stuff like, what would you call them? Those Italian pies that are more like rolled up pizzas. What do you call those? Starts with a C, maybe? I can't eat a lot of them because they have pepperoni in it. My only food allergy does happen to be pepperoni. Calzone, that's it. Thank you, thank you. Yeah. I can't eat a lot of pizza products, which is really unfortunate because I do actually very much like the taste of pepperoni. It does just make my throat close up, which I think is a quite adverse effect for anyone. If death, I die way too easily, so I'd really not make the problem worse, if you know what I mean. Now who's the one who needs to pay attention to phrasing? We were talking about that a little bit last night. The process of knowing one's surroundings and the process of knowing give and take. It does require a little bit of awareness. I'm glad we're on the same page. I think it does require a bit of awareness to become the type of person who can engage on that level, I suppose. There are those, I suppose, who just don't want to, and I respect that. Some people don't like to play games. And I think that those are the people, oddly enough, who get the most done in life. Just doesn't... Sky, you don't have to do anything you like, honey. You can do whatever you like. It does require a little bit of awareness of yourself and awareness of others in order to do that, though. Which I think is why people associate that kind of conversations with adulthood. Not only is the subject matter something that people understand better once they've encountered these things in adulthood, it's also a skill that needs to be practiced. Exactly. The more confidence that you have about the things that you know and the things that you don't know, it feeds into the image you need to cultivate in order to have those kinds of conversations. Which is why, I suppose, once again, people associate those kinds of conversations with adulthood. I think about adulthood a lot, having died several times myself and never really quite coming back the same person. I don't know at what level adulthood factors into my life. So I tend to think about these things a lot because I'm a very small bear and I am mistaken quite often for being at an age much younger than I actually am. So I think about the ways I present myself in the conversations I have to know what kind of image I give off. And I often use that to my advantage as well. But I'd say that if you guys are only getting a facet of myself right now, I'd like to think that it's a very truthful facet. Let's talk about that. Near-death experiences. Let's talk about that a bit. Would you say that you were at fault for any of these experiences, or was it simply by accident? Mm. Are you gonna get Final Destination someday? Or are you gonna just wake up someday and everything is out to get you? Oh, a premium. One of the interns I was extremely close to, it was the one I called a sister the other day. She ended, after the research lab closed, she decided to continue working at her job as a neonatal nurse. And she takes care of preemies. Oh man. Pixel, who is keeping an eye on you? All your life. Who was keeping an eye on you? Or were you just simply adventurous? I was adventurous. Precognition, huh? At what level? You know, I would call that good instincts, but my voice actor is actually a witch, so if you take the average of that, I'm inclined to believe you. I do like witches though. I like the idea that the world might be a little bit more magical than I think it is. Oh. Morgan, let's see. The only Morgan I know of is from StarCraft. One once again, I don't think I have much of a relationship with all of that, but my voice actor also does come from apparently a very, very long line of shamans. So while they have never seen or done much of anything themselves, they do occasionally see the weird thing. I am, once again, not my voice actor, so I wouldn't know anything about that. Oh, Celtic goddesses of fate. Got it, got it. Oh, so you follow the Norse god. Interesting. Hmm. Hmm. That's good. That's good. I know people have a lot of guff to say about religion, I suppose. But I think that even though I am a bear and I don't really believe in anything, I think other people can and should. Hmm. Is the understanding that she gives you dreams. Hmm. I think that's lovely. I can't say I think the same way, but I think that's a good statement. That if it's real to someone else, then meeting them at that level and knowing that it's true for them is much more advantageous than. Or maybe not advantageous. Thoughtful, considerate, understanding. Still not the right words. Good, maybe. Hmm. Hmm. I think that the main thing is that a lot of people rely on something larger than themselves. It doesn't have to even be religion or anything like that, just an idea that there's something outside of you that is guiding the universe into a pattern that makes sense. I think a lot of people need that. And we live such short lives, you know, only what? 80 or 90 years, especially. Well, at any rate, I think that it's lovely that you know. I think a lot of us in this world are sort of expats from, what would you call it? Mainstream religion, I suppose. Hmm. Hmm. If Morgan and you have an understanding, did the. What am I trying to say here? Did the understanding come before or after you realized that death was after you? As in, did you want to try a different method of avoiding death? Or did it just come as a benefit of the agreement? Hmm. 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 That's lovely. And then? Did you just wake up after that? Hmm. Hmm. That's wonderful. It must be nice to know that someone's watching you and to know that that person is protecting you. I can't say that I've had many experiences like that myself. Usually, when I go out into the woods just to walk by myself, I do it specifically because I don't like being watched. Which makes streaming a very interesting life path, wouldn't you say? uh, hmm. Perhaps I just hope that people are paying more attention to the video game and perhaps not me.
Looking for royalty-free
And
music? Discover Epidemic
there
Sound.
goes.
Get the safest music system for
Oh
content
my
creators.
goodness.
More than 35,000 tracks and
Let's
90
skip to that ad, shall we? I am here for lo-fi beats, not lo-fi beats and advertisements. Thank you. Did you really? Elaborate. Once again, I was not there, and apparently the stream was down. But I would like to specifically know about this event. Oh, I see. Hmm. 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 having someone to talk to. Yes, that is what people use the gods for, right? For guidance. All that shit. It's nice to know that someone or something greater than you is looking out for you. If not in a protective sense, then just as someone who is apart from the situation and looking down at you. It's a good feeling to know that someone cares about you. It's to be cared. Be right back. I just realized I didn't have water with me or anything, and I really do feel like my throat's getting a little bit dry, even though, once again, this pie is very, very fucking good. Be right back. There we go. I also switched a few things around where I was sitting in order to make this a little bit more of a comfortable experience for myself. Alright, hope you didn't miss me too much. I'm just a bear eating pie after all. Not much to miss. Now what were we talking about again? Also, don't mind if you hear some tapping noises in the background. I am not on company time right now, but I am going to use a bit of this time to send out some emails that I've been neglecting for a little bit, so go ahead and get started. Let's see. Let's first adjust the sound so my alerts don't deafen you guys. And there we are. Alrighty. Oh. What? Really? My goodness. Was Sky streaming again, or were you just trying to convince them in Discord that being asleep is a better option than being awake? Sky! Sky! What did Pixel just say? Oh my goodness. I, uh, I'm sorry. What is happening? Oh my goodness. Well, I will leave you to that. I will continue answering company emails. Although I don't think that I have much to do today. I do need to answer one other person, but that's really it. Let's see. Nope. 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 Alright. I think that's going to be about that. Oh. Is this an ASMR stream? I have never been the type of person to think that I was accustomed to ASMR streams. Mostly, what was expected of me was to keep very, very quiet and never say anything. Oyasumi mamir. Skyron. Tada. Oyasumi nasai. Amimir. Dormir, really. Good night, Sky. Please sleep well. I'll try and keep it down so we don't wake you up. Oh wait, there is one specific message that I need to send very quickly. Alright. And that's work for today. Thank goodness for that. Oyasumi mamir. Sky. Yeah, I've never been told that my voice was pleasant to listen to. Like, I've gotten a lot of people who say that I should do voice acting, which I've considered, and I don't know. Maybe the thought of trying to market my abilities has always been very intimidating to me because you know how you get when you can clearly see your own good attributes, but then you realize, oh, I'm not the only person with this good attribute in the world. What could I possibly have to offer, you know? So, I think that's why I've never been very good at making a resume or getting a job that wasn't particularly more than basic. I lack self-confidence, huh? Maybe I do. I like to be the type of bear who motivates myself to do things. I don't want to be the type to always rely on someone telling me, like, you can do it. You can succeed in everything you do. You just try. Because growing up, I had a very specific task and a specific purpose. And to do anything outside of that specific task or purpose was, well, acceptable, but it's not like anyone was going to cheer me on for it. So really, when it comes to the things I actually do want to do, I never really look for not even criticism or feedback or anything, not support. Because I feel like if I'm not the one cheering myself on, then no one is going to do it, you know? Yeah. I think it's very common among people from Asian countries, I think. Have parents who don't necessarily cheer their children on, who tend to show their support in other ways, if at all. Mm-hmm. Oh, that sounds like hell. I'm very sorry. Yeah. I don't know. I once asked one of the researchers at my research facility if they could give me support in some way. And she asked me, how? How do I do that? And I said, well, if I tell you that I'm doing something and that I've achieved something, just tell me, oh, that's really cool. You can do it. I support you. And it seemed as though she was very confused by the concept that giving even symbolic support was such an alien concept to her that she didn't know what its purpose was. I think about that interaction quite a bit. I sometimes think I'm the crazy one, you know? Or believing that supporting people has a kind of power in of itself, you know? Maybe that's what I want. I've been thinking about the things that I want lately because you know how, just as an icebreaker, some people will ask, if you had $1,000 or $100,000, what would you do with it? What would you buy? What is your favorite thing? What would you buy multiple of? And I always have a lot of trouble answering that question. Questions like, what makes you happy? What is it, something that you can bring to mind that immediately gives you that burst of motivation? What is that one thing that gets you out of bed every day? And I always have trouble answering that question. I don't need a hug. I hug myself. Haven't you been listening to me? I'm the one who supports me. Just to do it. That being said though, I've been thinking about the things that make me happy. Pie certainly makes me Well, what about you then? Well, what about you? Well, you'll be able to get me, if you end up coming by during the winter. I do spend a lot of time just sleeping. Yeah. Yes, Mr. or Sir, raised in an Asian Hispanic household. Do you need a hug? No sé, señora. Oh, no más. ¿Qué? Yo no hablo inglés. Yo no hablo español. So. Siéntate aquí, por favor. Tell me about it. Pourquoi? Alright, alright, alright. I'll leave it at that. Mm. No farther. Alright, alright. No farther than a cuddle. Can't say I do a lot of cuddling. Yeah. Ika isn't really the cuddly type, and I like that about her. Am I a cuddler though? Well, I do have a body pillow, and I find myself having trouble getting to sleep without it, so maybe I am. What other things do I have on my bed? I have a lot of blankets on my bed. I like being warm when I sleep, but I like sleeping when it's cold. I'm a cold sleeper. I know that a lot of people out there are cold sleepers, so I know it's not like an individual thing, but there is something about knowing that outside of your bed it's as cold as fuck, but inside you are just a little warm cinnamon roll. Oh, I do like having a lot of blankets. Oh man, Asian Hispanic household, you must have blankets just piled everywhere. Oh, that must be lovely. Oh. No? Really? Asian Hispanic household? Impossible. Really? That seems completely impossible to me. The research facility, well, it moved over to America several years before my first build. But the research facility started all of their research materials in Korea, and then they moved the entire facility over to America. So even though everybody spoke English, there was a very Korean vibe to everything while I was growing up. That makes a lot of sense. I see. I don't want this commercial. Bleh. Hmm. In a sense, I think that you did grow up in a way that would make a lot of immigrant families very envious of you. But on the other hand, I feel as though success in a foreign country often comes at a price of not being led astray. What is the word? A sort of rootlessness, I suppose. I've been thinking a lot about the idea of being well rooted in a place that you live. Yeah. Yeah. There's a rich mentality and a poor mentality. I understand. Throw that up. Hope it. Sometimes the food in my little dumpster can get a little sus. Some of the simulations I've been through have a little bit. I've been a little bit of a struggle, I suppose. They get mad at that, huh? Some of the senior research facility people, some of the staff, I guess. The researchers, you know, they're all insufferable know-it-alls. So, the fact that I do know things tends to go unnoticed. Yeah. I wonder why. We both may have Asian roots, but, I don't know. I think about internet culture a lot in the sense that there is no one internet culture. For example, you could pick somebody off of one end of Twitter, maybe, and then one person off of one end of Reddit, and then you could put them together and they would simply have nothing in common. But I also get the sense that there is a sort of shared culture of maybe not norms, but ways of treating others that you could ignore but are like facts. And I often wonder if that is a unifying thing that make people like you and me, myself have never used Twitch in my life, that if we could look at our values, like take a spreadsheet and just kind of plot them side by side, how many similarities there would be that kind of contrast with how we were raised. I wonder if the internet has a hand in that sometimes. That being said, it's more of a thought experiment than anything. I can't actually do it, so I'm immediately going to lose interest in it. It's nice to know that there is some sort of thing culturally. And it's a little frightening too. I wonder what we're losing as a culture as we move forward. Ikel always told me that I am the type of person to respect tradition and to always look into the past for comfort. And I'm not sure if I feel as though it's true, but factually, I think Ikel might be right. I do tend to look at where I'm from and not what immediately surrounds me in order to figure out things about myself. Which is very difficult for me since there is a very large swath of time I do not remember and that no one will tell me about. Not even my voice actor who wrote every single beat of my story, which is very, very frustrating to me. I have my own little narrator, and I am Zagreus, going, wait, what? I didn't know that. But I don't really mind not knowing that for right now. Maybe I'll figure it out later. Maybe my voice actor will tell me about it, who knows. But for right now, I do look into the things I know to figure out if that's a part that explains parts of what I do and who I am. For example, I always thought it was very strange that the researchers didn't really mind what I did outside of doing my daily tasks and pretending that I was a normal human being like everyone else. But then I realized that a lot of them came from the 80s and the 70s party culture in Busan. And then they started talking about the old glory days, all about disco. And I was like, oh, I understand a lot now. It really explained why they were so terribly blasé about a lot of things when I know that in Korean culture there is at least a modicum of propriety when it comes to being in public. But I don't think that it's terribly, a bad thing that I don't know certain parts about myself. It makes life interesting, And sometimes that's what you need. A mystery. Something that you can keep figuring out for the rest of your life, for as long as it takes. Just to keep you on your toes. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Not knowing. You said that Morgan helps guide you. And for my voice actor, since they are a witch, they are a bit the same as me in that they don't worship one thing or another, but they do see things that ultimately decide where they go and what they do. And they also read tarot cards. I personally can't read tarot cards, but they can. But as for me, the bear, I think I believe that much of the universe is random, and that any patterns that we see as humans are, in fact, pieces of a larger cloud that is, in fact, random. We're just too close to see the magnitude of the randomness. And I think that's terrifying. It scares the absolute shit out of me. But getting over that fear, I think, is part of the task, I guess. Closing your eyes and not knowing if I'll open them as the same person in the same build. I've had to get over that fear. Dying 37 times. Coming back as a different build. The same person, but a different build. You have to get over a few things. Yeah, anxiety has been such a huge part of my life. Just wondering, waiting for something to go wrong. It does actually control whether something goes wrong later on. You're so prepared for something to turn out badly that every preparation you've made has kind of funneled things in order to make that exact thing happen. The contrasting element to that, I suppose, is that if you don't make those kinds of preparations, eventually the bad thing will happen. Quantum immortality. I can't say I've ever heard of that. Oh, yes. I do. Although, the level to which I believe in it is the level to which I believe in string theory, which I'm still reading about, so I can't really be a good teacher of that. But go on. I can say without a shadow of a doubt that my deaths do not work like that, but it's an interesting thing to consider. Yeah, my deaths definitely did not work like that. If you end up in a plane in which you are immortal, I'm not sure if I would like that. I think that I could get accustomed to it, yes. You know, when I was a very young bear, probably around my 9th life, had to have. One thing that gave me immense one thing that gave me immense anxiety is the idea that I couldn't read every book in the entire world. I love to read. It makes me feel as though I'm someone else. So I've had this notion that I wanted to learn every language and read every book in the entire world. And then I realized, I looked it up on the internet because the internet was around by then. I looked it up on the internet. I looked up how many books there were in the entire world. And since I was a very smart bear, I did some calculations and I realized it would take me several human lifetimes, and not just my short little lifetime to read every single book in the entire world, even if I worked my hardest at it, even if I learned every language I could, I would not be able to read every single book in the entire world. I remember feeling incredibly sad on that. Oh, so there are some books I'm going to miss. Yeah. The enormity of being just one little bear on a big old rock hurtling through space, getting farther and farther away from the other heavenly bodies. Kinda hit me then, even though I didn't know about the expansion of the universe at the time. But, well, eventually I got over it, right? I don't feel quite so sad about it anymore. I think it had to do a lot with the fact that I decided to accept mystery as a part of life. Even if there are answers, and I will always try and look for them because, once again, I'm a very curious bear, and I want to know a lot of things. I'm not going to get to it all. There's a bit of helplessness in that. I think that's why people like to think that there is a pattern in the universe. Because it makes them feel like even if they are not the one in control, someone or something else is. That there is a readable pattern even if they can't see it. Maybe I'm extremely, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe I think an awful lot of myself, but I think that if the smartest people in the entire world can't find that pattern, then I don't think it exists. And it's hard, you know, to wrap your head around that kind of enormity. Well, thank you for the head pats, but I think that this is something that a lot of people come to realize, right? That you have to accept some things as a part of the world, and then look for ways to manage that, to perhaps cope with it. I don't think I'm alone in this. And it's taken me some time to come up with the line that I have for myself about whether I'm special. Because I'm not. There isn't anything specifically special about me. There are plenty of things I can do that other people can't, of course. But none of these things make me singular, I guess, is what I'm going for. I can't... It's very arrogant of me to think that I suffer alone in a consequence that no one else can relate to. Well, I appreciate it. Everybody has their own set of unique traits. Their dark souls loadout, as it were. So in that sense, I can see my own individuality, but when it comes to me, because I used to have this notion that I was very alone in the way I thought about things in the world. And then I started reading books and went, oh, I've thought this exact same thing. So, reading books has been very, very good at humbling me, and then whatever wasn't taken care of a book was pretty much taken care of by the researchers. But I think that, on the whole, it's been both good for me and bad for me to know that I am not alone in this world. It's been good because it helps me look for solutions to my problems, because I sometimes get into the habit of thinking, oh, no one has encountered this specific problem in life. I'm so terribly alone, no one could possibly understand or help me. And I've had to fight my way out of that kind of thinking, you know? I've had to be like, no, I am not a special snowflake. People have had problems before, very similar to my own, if not exactly the same. And there are solutions, and I can be helped. I am not singular in my suffering. Everyone suffers. And I've been able to help myself in that way. It's taken a lot of humility to believe that. But on the other hand, I guess you're right. I really don't have much self-confidence. Sure, yeah. I did not think that a pi stream would turn into a live stream, but there's something about mathematics that kind of leads someone into the brink of infinity, perhaps.
Libbity bibbity.
I don't know. I think that, on the other hand, knowing that, Libbity bibbity. I hate that commercial so much, but I do actually think it's very funny. I'm a very simple bear. Making silly noises will make me laugh every single time. Like, there has been this image of a sign floating around the internet that says school supplies, but they've arranged all the letters so they kind of bounce from up to down to up to down, up and down, kind of in a diagonal zigzag pattern. So instead of school supplies, it says, oh, maybe I can look it up. Let me see. It makes me laugh every single oh, oh my god, let me see if I can download it. It really, really makes me laugh every single time. Oh my god. Image and new tab. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. Let me see if I can just save this image. Alright, let me upload it. There you go. Where is it? Maybe I'll just put it on my, oh. Where'd it go? Oh, it's on my desktop, okay. There it is, there it is. Shows like if you don't stop me, I will laugh about this literally the rest of my fucking life. This is actually the height of comedy for me. I can't think of anything funnier than this right now. This is the only thing that is funny in the world to me. Yeah. Very sorry, I looked at Alright, I need to turn that off before I just spend the rest of this time laughing. But yeah. Things like this, it's I cannot express how simple it is to make me laugh. I suppose I rarely do laugh at that level, but what was I talking about again? Mortality or some shit? Man, who cares? Just play good. Oh, good lord. Oh. Yeah, and then that came from a Liberty Mutual. Okay, I think I remember the pattern now. Ooh, I should do a stream where people just show me funny memes. I think it's a very simple task to make me laugh. So I don't know, people do stuff like no laughing challenges. I think I would fail because I certainly believe it's very easy to make me laugh. Maybe I'll do that when I have more viewers, so I can get a good variety of memes. Oh man, I've been ignoring my pie this whole time. I guess thinking about mortality makes one a very full bear. But yeah, I think that's one thing I was thinking about, like stuff that makes me happy. I have always oh fuck. Oh, whatever. Actually, no, that's dangerous. Give me a second. Sorry, I'll explain in a second. So, I have decided that what happened just there does not merit an explanation unless you ask for it. So we will continue on. It's about stuff that makes me happy. Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot. The researchers did have an in-house therapist that I saw fairly frequently. And one of the first things that was assigned to me by that therapist was I was supposed to come up with a list that makes me of things that made me happy. And I remember trying to fill out that list and coming up with maybe a few things that made me, in the moment, maybe temporarily happy. But they weren't consistent, which I don't think is a terrible thing. To not find like a one specific thing that makes me happy. But on the other hand, I would like to be happy someday. I would like to find one thing that makes me consistently happy. I guess the closest thing I have to that is Kamen Rider, but I haven't seen it in a long time. But at the same time, if thinking about Kamen Rider always makes me happy, and still does make me happy, years after I've watched my last episode, then maybe that is the thing that makes me happy, you know? Pie. Yes, my pie. Pie certainly does make me happy. I wouldn't say it's a consistent thing that makes me happy. Maybe the joy of having received a pie and eating the pie. Yeah, pie sure does make me happy. It's very simple. Kamen Rider and pie. Maybe that's my quest in life, you know? Finding something that I can find things that make me smile, certainly. Sure. What makes you happy? Or even temporary happiness. I remember at the time, when I turned in my list to my therapist, one thing that was on the list was One Piece. And that was true at the time. Extrovert, huh? Or at least the type to like people. Let's be nice. I can't relate. Gotten to a point in my age where being around people just brings me immense anxiety. Which is why I guess a dumpster kind of suits me. No one else wants to be around one after all. I feel like I used to be the same way. That making other people happy made me. How do I explain what? What? You must understand, I haven't watched TV or even really left the house or my dumpster in about 5 years maybe, so. Only because I don't understand what is going on. And confusion usually makes me laugh. Because what else can I do? Demand an explanation. Maybe this is why getting a confusing death in a video game doesn't actually make me angry. I'm more amused that something very large and sudden happened, and I have no idea as to what it could have been. What? Really? Huh. I wonder why. Well, that sounds like something that you and Dark are going to have to get, worked out. Hmm. Then again, there was this one time when I was using Discord. This must have been like a year ago now. There was this one time I was on a separate Discord where my anxiety got pretty bad. And I started saying very hurtful things to the other people around me. And I didn't notice it until well, I don't know the severity of the conversation, but it seems like something that I can't personally mediate because I don't know what's going on. What I will say though is that one time last year, I was in a Discord channel with a bunch of people that I suppose, in terms of the video game that we were playing, you could call my guildmates. I started saying some pretty hurtful things because I felt anxious about something. And I didn't catch it until later. Yeah. I think people were trying to point out that I was being meaner than usual. That everything that I was saying was a little bit more personal. They tried to point that out to me, but in all honesty, I didn't notice until I realized that I was personally not feeling great, and I was taking it out on other people around. So what I did in an attempt to save the friendship was I ended up blocking pretty much everybody on that Discord and trying to focus on blocking out other people in order to figure out what exactly happened with me. The thing is though, I didn't actually communicate what was going on. So what it looked like to them was that I started getting incredibly cruel for no reason, and then I blocked them. Which, as you can probably guess, didn't go over very well with them. I've said before that I really dislike hurting people, even though I tend to speak my mind and it's kind of a given that I do. So what I'm trying to say is, whenever people are cruel to me personally, or they do something that I don't understand, I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't like the idea that people are out to hurt me. Or if they do, they were thinking of themselves first, and not specifically of being cruel to me. Which, on the one hand, does kind of make me sad. But on the other hand, I do often have my moments where I only think of myself. So it's not as though if I don't extend that kind of understanding to others, then there really is no hope for me, you know? I wonder why the chat isn't showing up. Weird. Chat? You good, buddy? Yeah. Well, it is Twitch, so there is always the autoplay feature, but it's a little bit disappointing. I wonder why it doesn't work. I'll get that worked out next time. But why don't I narrate the stuff that I've been talking about, that you've been talking about this time? I've done the same TBH. I heard others in the same ways. It hasn't the whole time, and that's a Sky Baby question. Yeah. Well, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. If I go over to Game and Chat, for example, I think that it does work. See, it works perfectly well over here. Maybe I just have to redo it? Give me a second. Just kind of make a new one. Do I have to make a new one every single time? That seems very annoying. Alright. See if that works okay. Well, hopefully that'll work. Anyway. I don't know. So, to answer your question, or to answer— there it is. There it is. Maybe I just need to make a new instance every single time, which sounds terribly annoying to me. No, the thing is, I use the exact same chat box. I just made a new instance of it. And now it works suddenly. Like I said, I'm not gonna think too hard about it. I'll just make a new instance every single time. But yeah, like I said, this is why I really can't— maybe. I don't know enough about programming to know exactly what might have gone wrong. Like you said, I'll probably have to ask Sky later. But to rephrase what I've been trying to say about your situation. Never attribute to malice what can be chalked up to either stupidity or just carelessness. I know that that's not the exact quote, but I feel like attributing things just to stupidity alone is a little bit— it communicates a little bit of mistrust within other people. Yeah, it is stupidity, I know. But I don't like thinking that. I don't like thinking that I'm the only person in the entire world who isn't stupid enough to make these kinds of mistakes. Because sometimes I don't make stupid mistakes. Sometimes I make mistakes out of simply being careless, which is a different thing from being stupid, I think. Not to say that I don't make stupid mistakes. Yeah. That's why I usually don't think much of it whenever someone does something that does happen to hurt my feelings. First of all, my feelings aren't real. I am a fictional character. Second of all, yeah. Because at the end of the day, once again, I'm a fictional character, and my feelings don't actually matter about things, but on the other hand, I think that's another part of adulthood that ends up being underrated, I guess. Because I've noticed one other thing about adulthood. It comes in parts, and one of the parts, I think, is your ability to recognize whenever bad things happen. And knowing that you can get past them, even if it's something as large as a natural disaster or something as small as interpersonal conflict. It's being able to manage your emotions and being able to, if not hit on the correct way to process them, then having a good sense of where to go next. I think that is a pretty essential part of growing up. Some of the interns that I knew in the past now have children. And they say that the most difficult part about raising a child is when they're very, very small, they don't know how to process emotion. Everything is just too big. I get that. So a part of adulthood is being able not to repress your emotions, but being able to sort them out and say, all right, I know how to handle this one. I know how to handle this one too. Just being able to be patient with yourself and go through your problems one by one. Well, I don't know you all that well, so I won't speak my mind this time. Also, there is a stream that I want to see in like 5 minutes, so I think I might end the stream here.
66 months interest free.
I don't care about rooms to go. I live in a dumpster. What does this have to do with me, honestly? Yeah. I truly just do not enjoy the feeling of preaching, I guess. I like speaking my mind. I like knowing that people understand where I'm coming from when I say things. What? An industrial and dumpster barge? A castle! Why, thank you. I would love that. Nah, when it comes to things like... I do need a room to go in the trash. I don't know. There is actually a stream I want to go to in like 5 minutes, so I will probably wrap this up. But I don't like preaching at people. I don't like being the person to give advice. Because I am just one bear. It's on YouTube. I think I've given enough hints about myself on various streams for people to figure out which stream it might be. But yeah. I don't like being asked for my opinion on things. I don't trust myself to take care of other people because, frankly, I'm not very good at taking care of myself. I live in a dumpster after all. I mean, how good at it could I be? So I don't like being asked for advice. And I don't like giving it. I think my way of helping is putting myself through the worst I could possibly put myself through, and then sharing that experience, and then letting others take from my experiences as they will. 肩が大きいですよね。偉い偉い。Yeah, I think this is where the stream stops. I got through about half of my pie too, which is I mean, it's a pretty good sized pie. I feel very accomplished right now. I'll teach you what it means someday. It's nothing bad, I promise. Yeah. I think this is where the stream stopped for today. Thanks for chatting with me. Sky, if you're not asleep, sleep fucking now. It wasn't, I promise. I do hope you have a wonderful day. Rest of your day. Take care of yourself. And I promise I did not say anything sexual. I usually don't in other languages. I don't know how. Take care of yourself. Have a wonderful pie day. Bye-bye.